Coffee Hour. Welcome to Coffee with our morning host. We broadcast a host of programs like current topics, newspaper headlines, and music on Radio Sri Lanka. Tune in every weekday from 7 to 8 a.m. Mr. Ranjith Seneviratna, a warm welcome to you as you join us on the Coffee Hour. Now, I believe you are one of the pioneers in the Sri Lanka music scene. Can you tell me about your group and how and why you started it?
Well, this was early 1957. There was a sort of a talent contest organized by Mr. Donovan Andre, that time a great entrepreneur. And we came as a group because we had sung as a group before. And in fact, we were the only one that were asked to sing an encore. Unfortunately, we had practiced one, so we did. From then, he employed us in a nightclub called Orchid Room, which was in Vihar Mahadevi Park. And from there, he organized a tour of Singapore and Malaysia, and he took us along as well. And there we were shocked actually at the reception. We were compared to the Platters. We got a shock. I mean, we were just chaps who had been singing in a choir. None of us knew how to play musical instruments. We just listened to each other and we used to harmonize. Those days, there was only one mic. So we learned to move ourselves up and down in order to get a balance, and we trained ourselves to listen to each other so that we had a nice what people used to call us. You sound like an organ.
Now you said we. When you say we, can you elaborate? Can you give us the name of your group and also who the singers were?
Yeah. The name we chose was The Four Chords, simply because we used to love to sing chords which had all four different notes, not like the major chord. And we used to incorporate that. We also loved to jazz things up so that we had doing things with offbeats. Since we were singing on one mic, we also trained ourselves to listen to each other and balance by moving ourselves up and down. We also realized that, standing up and singing like human-shaped microphones or receivers is not. We should be like people. So we used to sing like we were at a practice. And somehow that seemed to have struck a chord. So that in Singapore we were compared to the Platters. And then we were invited to sing at the Radio Malaya, a special program called Make My Music. The four of us were, the lead singer was Roland Gamaradge, now passed away. His brother Victor, who sang first tenor, my very good friend, and in fact, he was my best man at the wedding. Stanley Arnold, who sang second tenor, and myself was the bass.
Right. So what genre of music did you choose to sing?
They are all mostly English music, mostly American classics. And there was one that we composed ourselves and we sang it on a Christmas program. It was called the Christmas Calypso. But most of the others, and then we had a lot of help from people in the music field. And they helped us, some of them like Joy Ferdinando. He had his music and, we used his music and so on and so forth.
Did you ever sing on Radio Ceylon at that time or Radio Sri Lanka after that?
Yes, we sang 3 times.
Right.
One was Talent Corner. The other was Make My Music, I think it was called. And the third one was the Christmas program in 1959. That's before I left to become a marine engineer.
All right. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Well, I am still into harmony. I sing as a bass in the church choir at St. Michael's Polvatta. And in fact, until recently, we had a group of people who loved to sing in harmony. We used to call it Sing for Joy. Unfortunately, the COVID intervened and, we could not meet. And then one by one, so many of them passed away.
I think COVID changed so much
So
for
much.
everybody, not only in Sri Lanka, but across the globe.
That's right.
And things have changed drastically since then. But then you still sing.
Oh, yes.
Right. And can you tell us some of the songs that you have sung before and what songs you sing right now?
Well, the one that was most popular that used to be, always asked for and we used to use it as an encore was called Honey Honey. Yeah, I heard it as a record at Regal Theatre. Then I thought, that song, we can make it up. So I bought the record and then we put in our own version of it with a lot of offbeats. And it proved to be extremely popular. People used to always ask for it.
Right. That was your original group, The Chords, who
Yes,
sang that.
that's right.
All right. Do you have a recording of that?
Yes.
Maybe we could play Honey Honey for you then. Thank you.
I had a dream the other night, the funniest dream of all. I dreamt I saw a great big man behind the garden. Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you in the springtime and the fall. Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you the best of all. Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you in the springtime and the fall. Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you the best of all. He came around to my back door to see my turtle dove. Tell me, honey, tell me true.
Oh, well, that sounds like a very, very old song, and I believe it is. But that was very nice to listen to. Now, Mr. Ranjith Seneviratna, you have mentioned something about harmony with nature. Can you please elaborate? Tell us more about it.
Well, yes. Now, this harmony, you find that it breaks down barriers. It gets people closer because you have to harmonize with them. And, right now, I'm into harmony with nature. So I've surrounded my home in Kollupitiya with a forest. And you won't believe the harmony that I get there. Birds that come almost to my feet. Butterflies. Fireflies at night. This is in Kollupitiya. People don't believe me, but that's what it is. And then I've healed my soil so that the soil microbiome is very rich. And amazingly, with all this rain, not one drop remains on the soil. It all goes into the ground. So this, I realized, is why Sri Lanka was at one time called the hydraulic civilization. The whole country was super absorbent, took in the water, and we had this wonderful verdant island. People called it the hydraulic civilization. I feel that we can even get back to that if we don't follow what, say, the colonizers introduced to us. I mean, to me it seems to be that, naturally that's their business to try and subjugate their people. So they cut down our trees and brought this plant from China and said, yeah, grow tea. And nothing was grown around the tea bushes and all the soil went down to the sea, even today. Now I'm trying to tell my friends in the tea industry, let's make them into tea forests. Have murunga, which is today very popular as a tea as well, and grow all these fantastic medicinal plants that we have.
That is amongst the tea bushes, you mean?
And mind you, I myself, talking of harmony, I have not eaten a single grain of rice for the last 14 years.
That's strange,
Yes.
coming from a Sri Lankan.
Yes. Because I eat the food human beings ate before the discovery of fire, which is all green vegetables, fruits, nuts, yams, and we have got hundreds of different yams. Why we are importing potatoes, I don't know. Anguilla, for example, in my own garden, I have got 3 or 4 different varieties.
That's amazing. Maybe we should visit you sometime
Please do.
and see your garden and how it grows and the vegetables and the plants that you have in your garden. I think it is an amazing story that you have told us. And I'm a person also. I call myself a gardener. Maybe I don't know as much as you or people who actually grow a lot of plants, but I love gardening. I absolutely love it. And I must say, going back, my grandfather was a horticulturalist in Nuwara Eliya, and I think he won lots and lots of prizes for horticulture. Maybe I have taken after him to a certain extent. I'm not very knowledgeable about it, but nevertheless, I do my best and I love gardening.
Actually, what I'm trying to do is to go out of gardening and agriculture and to become harmonious with nature. It's a different concept.
Totally, totally.
You see, and what amazes me is how much more you get. You see, when you try to garden, you try to control nature. You allow nature to control you, to harmonize with you. Wow.
I think your story is absolutely amazing. And I wonder whether you have sort of tried to educate the people in the agricultural sector about what you have done or shown your garden to them. And perhaps we can learn a lot from people who know so much about the soil and about plants.
Yes, in fact, the Good Market people, they made a video of me and my garden. And at a recent Wildlife and Nature Society meeting, after the meeting, when they were asked for comments, I just told them about 2 sentences about that. And when we got out, the people were all around me asking me about this garden. So there is interest, and I would like to spread this news, my gosh, and of course it means also that you should eat what you grow.
You're absolutely right. Now, just looking at you, I believe that you stay extremely healthy because of the food that you consume. You said that you have not eaten rice for 14 years, but that you eat all the vegetables from your garden. And do you eat them raw or do you just boil them all?
Raw.
Raw vegetables. That's amazing. Absolutely wonderful to hear that.
Now the top scientists in America are saying the same thing about the microbiome, and they are saying that you should eat at least 20 varieties per week. Well, I eat about 40 per day.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I make it into a smoothie and I put in things like kefir or kimchi to ferment it so that it increases the microbes in the salad.
Oh, you seem to have a vast knowledge in that area, and I hope it spreads far and wide in Sri Lanka, and not only in Sri Lanka, but other parts of the world as well. Because today on our program, we were discussing about diabetes and how even very young children have diabetes now. That is because of the food that we consume, which I believe is not very healthy. So you have such a wide knowledge, and I think you should share it with so many people. That will help so many people, stay healthy for a very, very long period of time. That's wonderful. And maybe we should listen to another one of the songs that you have recorded.
I almost lost my mind. Life ends worthwhile living. Feel like I could die. Trouble in mind.
You just told me about how you have cured your wife and yourself, by the food that you eat. Can you please tell us something about it?
Yes, she was a 400 plus diabetic, and people said that, this is something that you have to live with, and all these blood sugar pills and pinpricks and whatnot. So I thought, well, if we eat right food, we should cure ourselves, and we experimented. I fed her with this, and within about 8-9 months, she was completely cured. Completely. Never, that's about 14 years ago or more. She's never had any problems thereafter. So it cures. Your body is your best doctor. I had what is known as a pocket in my lung because as a marine engineer, there's a lot of asbestos. And the asbestos poisoning had damaged my lung. I used to get bad bouts of bronchial pneumonia. But after I did this, it all went away. So now I'm 87 years old and I can leap from a squatting position, which very, very few people.
I can imagine. Even people much younger than you will not be able to do
That's
that.
right.
So what you're trying to tell us is that everything revolves around the food that we eat.
Perfect.
Is that correct?
That's right. Perfect. And of course, you need to do this exercises as well. Formal exercises actually again, they're good. I mean, like hiking and jogging and all that, keeps your heart probably and all that. But remember, the biggest muscles we have are the thigh muscles and the calf. So you should be able to squat. That's the full stretch of the muscles. And if you can leap, then you are really healthy.
That's absolutely right. What are the vegetables and the fruits that you have grown in your garden?
Well, for vegetables, I have about 30 or 40 different what they call medicinal plants. The original vegetables that we ate before the colonials brought, all these kale and other vegetables. Now, these commercial things called vegetables, actually, because of agriculture, where they try to improve a higher productivity, the nutrition contents goes down. In fact, according to researchers, 30 to 40% less. And they are advising people now to take heirloom varieties in unchanged varieties. Now, our medicinal plants are unchanged. They are just forest plants. That is why our Vedamatyas go to the forest and pick their leaves for their concoctions. It's the same thing. So, these plants grow so easily, and they're not big, they're small. Even on a balcony you can have a dozen pots and you can have a little jungle there. And the additional wonderful thing is, now, for example, I have a driveway which is covered with small trees, and the terrible air that comes from the Duplication Road and Gall Road comes through this, collects the oxygen from the leaves, and my one window, I call it the lung, is always open, so it goes through the house. Believe it or not, I found no need for the air conditioners, and all my air conditioners have broken down through non-use. Imagine that.
And talking about the plants that we grow and use for medicinal purposes in Sri Lanka, our forests and the undergrowth, they have hundreds and hundreds of plants which very few people know about.
That's right.
I mean, talking about the medicinal value of
That's
them.
right.
But you have brought them into your garden and made maximum use of them to stay healthy, and also not only to stay healthy, but to cure yourself and your wife of some major health issues.
And others too.
And others too. Now can you tell me something about that
Yes,
also?
but I have to be careful because, when I generally tell them, so some people eat only, not enough variety. Because it's very important, but maybe I didn't stress that enough. I know a friend of mine who was eating, because he grew niviti and he was eating this niviti. But niviti has got what are known as oxalates, which cause stones. And he got stones. But now, according to these researchers in America, you need to eat 20 varieties per week of different leaves. Yeah, so easy for us. 20, that's nothing. You can grow that in any, almost on a windowsill.
When you say 20 varieties, what are we looking at?
Well, for example, a very important one in this times of the COVID is Hiing Kohomba. It's very famous. It's the Thai research proved that it is better than ivermectin against COVID type things. But it's an ancient vegetable herb that we have been using medicinally for years. And it's very easy to grow. Then there is Masbadda, which is again good for diabetics. Tebu, again for diabetics. And a whole host of other leaves like that.
And what are the fruits you have grown in your garden? You may be having a very large garden.
No, it's only 20 perches.
Oh, right, okay. That's wonderful.
That includes the house.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
What is round the house. But it is amazing, you allow nature. Nature is so abundant. It pours out things for you. That is what I discovered. This is why being harmonious with nature, and you become part of nature.
What are the fruits you have in your garden?
They are all berries.
Berries.
One very nice one is a thing they call Sri Lankan apricot or butterfruit. Then there's an Australian berry which is sold here, so I got that. Billing, kamaranga, starfruit, papaya, and various types of berries. I don't even know the name.
Right.
Except that birds love them.
I suppose that is why the birds are attracted to your garden, because of the berries and the fruits and that you have on offer for them as well.
Now I have 3 ponds as well, because that's my anti-dengue strategy. All my gutters, every 6 feet or so, there's a tiny hole, about a millimeter, with a wire leading down, so no water collects in the gutters. In fact, the PHI who came to see me, and he told me, you cannot plant banana trees. And I said, excuse me, plants don't mosquitoes don't like to breed in water that's polluted with oils, and plants bring oils. So why are there such high cases of dengue in Colombo, Moratuwa, Tampaha, Panudura? People. What do people do? They throw plastic and coconut shells. That's where they breed.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
So I got a certificate, dengue-free,
right,
from the PHI.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So also these ponds, I had the ponds there, and I put guppy fish, and they eat the larvae.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Also, things like butterflies, you need water spaces like that. And then also the different birds. For example, at one time there used to be a kingfisher. It's opposite me. I took a photograph of the fellow about 6 feet away. He looks at me. I say, hey, eat. And he goes, tuck, eats, goes up there and looks at me and swallows the fish. And there's a stork that used to come almost every day. And then you won't believe, even the fish pond, the fish respond to you. Now I have a plant called Kathakarnapale. The correct name for this is Prana Jiva. You get tablets made of prana.
Prana Jiva, that's right. I have
and
heard
you
of
talk
that.
to that plant, and the plant responds by bending its leaves. In the evening, it folds itself and goes to sleep. Beautiful, beautiful. It's almost like a human being. I talk to the fellow. Yes, I do.
Maybe we could listen to another one of your songs. And just want to find out, is the group still, you said that you don't have 2 members of the group, but do the others get together and sing with others, or have you given up that part of it?
That's what now. The other person who is alive is in Australia, and he sings with his wife. They are called the Delightful Duo in Australia. In fact, the people who died also used to continue singing. I continued to sing in choirs. Wherever I went, because as a marine engineer, I went to different places. Wherever I went, I used to sing. In fact, it's a habit of mine. At funerals, at weddings, at various, when there are any singing, I put in a part.
That's amazing. You still sing.
Oh, yes.
And that is wonderful to know. As I said, it may be the food that you eat that has held you in good stead all these many
yes,
years.
Definitely. Definitely.
Probably we'll listen to another song.
And on the stage. Never had no trouble in my life
Extra note.
before. My radio salon, the 4 chords. I wonder why you keep me waiting.
That song, can play that song. Anything else before we conclude?
Well, so my dream is to get people used to this new way of living. In fact, I've written articles about it, called it a new way of living.
I wonder if ever you think of me too. I'm waiting my charming for you. These 4 fascinating fellows.
To conclude, Mr. Seneviratna, what important message can you share with our listeners, and what exactly is your dream?
My dream is to get everybody to try this out. Very simple, being in harmony with nature. You can grow even on a windowsill these wonderful plants that give you health. And according to the researchers in America, 20 varieties per week. We can easily do that in Sri Lanka. So that's my dream, get everybody to eat like that.
Yes, indeed. And what can you tell them about the food?
So now, the way I eat the salad, I cut it up into small pieces. Then I add to it fermenting foods like kimchi, kefir, natto, miso. You can get these in the shops here. And that increases the biodiversity of the various microbes in your food, which is what you need to have, because your food, your whole body is looked after by microbes. According to the researchers, our genes only provide us about 20 or 30%. The rest is all controlled by the microbes. They protect us. And we take antibiotics to kill them. My goodness me. For example, we chlorinate our water. So I boil the water to get rid of the chlorine. And you don't need to be worried about food that falls into the ground. Just eat that, it's okay, no problem. Animals do that and they don't die. What are we so worried about dirt? It's not dirt. Might have new microbes that would be essential for your body. So it's a new way of living, a new way of thinking about these things.
It's been amazing talking to you, Mr. Seneviratna. You have shed a lot of light on the food that you grow in your garden, the food that you eat, and of course, the nutritious value of the plants that we have in Sri Lanka, and how you can stay healthy, and exactly how you have healed, not only yourself and your wife, but various other people, maybe your friends perhaps, who come to you. And that is amazing. I think we should hear more from you in the days to come, so that we can educate the people about the food that we should eat and the food that we should not eat. And I think that'll add a wonderful variety to our diets as well. Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. And we wish you all the very best indeed, and a very long life to come.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was Mr. Ranjith Seneviratna. He was with us on our coffee hour.